This is the MGTOW Infinium here with another Infinium training session. This Infinium training session is entitled The Standards of MGTOW. Now, my MGTOW brothers, when we as men begin to go our own way, we begin to live under new standards, which are far and above the old standards which we once lived under. The old standards that ruled our lives, that caused us to be bowed down in oppression, were based on false indoctrination and of slavery. Now, if you look at yourselves as you were brought up as a boy, my MGTOW brothers, it is most likely that you had drummed into you the standards of men must be married, that you must be married, that you have to be married to be successful in life, to have a fact of having a wife in order to make you successful as a male, as a man in this society, in the feminist plantation state, as I should say. Those standards of being married, along with the associated false indoctrination, have accordingly forced some men into believing that there was a false sense of nobility once they found a wife, once they found what they considered to be a unicorn, what they considered to be their soulmate. And as well, under that false sense of nobility, men feel it is their duty to sacrifice themselves in the slave pits of the feminist plantation state. And accordingly, as well, if you as a man did not live up to those standards, the standards which were put forth by the indoctrination and the feminist plantation state, by the things that you were trained as a boy, if you failed to meet those standards, if you didn't reach the accomplishment of having a wife, having a woman in your life, you were deemed a failure as a man. And my MGTOW brothers, this is also why men, when they have failed relationships, feel like failures, even when the failure of the relationship is not the fault of the man, it is the fault of the woman. The men are left with that quizzical question in their mind: what could I have done to keep things going, so to speak? But my MGTOW brothers, this is why the standards of the MGTOW philosophy are such a game changer for men who follow it. At the heart of the MGTOW philosophy is the unbinding of the false indoctrination and enslavement, and the binding to true freedom, my MGTOW brothers. Since the standards of MGTOW binds men to true freedom, every aspect of their lives becomes altered for their betterment. For one thing, the sense of nobility as well as servanthood, the false servanthood, are replaced with the priority of putting oneself first, which due to the MGTOW philosophy and its higher standards, men find that it is okay to put themselves first, to put oneself first. Beyond prioritization, there are many, many things that the standards of MGTOW provides. Overall, the MGTOW philosophy and the standards that it puts forth, men are no longer bound to the desires of women. This means that men can live anywhere they want, generate income in whatever manner they want, go wherever they want. And even though this seems simplistic in nature, the aforementioned seems simplistic in nature, there's great power, my MGTOW brothers, in that simplistic nature. This is because of the free nature and the standards that the MGTOW philosophy puts forth. It it brings freedom. It brings the capacity, again, to live in freedom. And accordingly, my MGTOW brothers, the standards that the MGTOW philosophy puts forth rejects female validation, negates shaming, and most of all, closes the door to controlling aspects of the feminist plantation state. My MGTOW brothers, it is important for you to understand the profound nature of what you're dealing with, the profound nature of the MGTOW philosophy and its standards. That even though they are simplistic, basically, again, that they unbind you from the false indoctrination, the false sense of nobility, you must understand that the MGTOW philosophy puts forth a standard that is incomparable to what you were once living under. It says to you that instead of being chained and bound and told what to do and living within limitations, limitations are taken off of you. The types of things that are happening to you, where you are bound or caught in the, I guess, the corral of the Venus flytrap of a woman, and you are subject to her dictates. The MGTOW philosophy, again, negates all of that. This is why you must understand, my MGTOW brothers, when you begin to waver, when you begin to feel that there is a need for a woman or a feminist, not feminist, but female aspect in your life, you must understand that, again, there is no benefit to cohabitating with or marrying a woman in this day and age. You need no further to look at the news and what's going on, how I believe Dr. Dre now is being divorced by his wife, and as far as I can understand, there is no prenup involved, so it's likelihood of being divorce rate there. That is what can happen to you, my MGTOW brothers. And if these rich men like Jeff Bezos, Dr. Dre, all these men, Will Smith, all these men cannot keep a woman happy, what makes you think that you, under the standards of the feminist plantation state, can keep a woman happy? So therefore, my MGTOW brothers, I would encourage you to daily not only take your red pills, but to daily re-embrace the MGTOW philosophy. As you wake up, as you walk through your day, walk down the MGTOW path to embrace the MGTOW philosophy. Embrace its freedom. Embrace the higher standards which it calls you to, which it calls you to live under. That high standard of freedom, my MGTOW brothers. Instead of slaving, instead of being subject to hypergamy, instead of being tossed away like a used Kleenex tissue, which once your usefulness is done, you are flushed down a toilet. Again, your freedom, your being able to do anything, go anywhere, have just peace in your life the price on that, my MGTOW brothers, is incalculable. And therefore, again, you must understand that the MGTOW philosophy offers you not only freedom, but high standards, high value standards. And again, instead of slaving in, again, the slave pits of the feminist plantation state, where the sign over the gate, over the entrance of the feminist plantation state says work towards freedom, but in reality is work towards death. The MGTOW philosophy, the standard of it, the standards of the MGTOW philosophy say, my MGTOW brothers, you can be free and you can go your own way in peace. This is the MGTOW Infinium, and this has been an Infinium training session. Now more than ever, my MGTOW brothers, stay safe, stay strong, stay on the MGTOW path, and remember, MGTOW is the liberation of men's minds. MGTOW cannot and will not be stopped.